All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Linda Kidder, and we're here to enjoy the day, the beautiful Sunday that we have here. We're going to do a bit of singing right now. I don't know if you know this one, but it's called May the Light of the Spirit, and it's pretty darn easy, so I hope you sing along with me. May the light of the Spirit shine on me. May the light of the Spirit shine on you. As God's grace and love make this a brighter world. You do know it. May the light of the Spirit shine on. If you feel like standing up, do that. May the light of the Spirit shine on me. May the light of the Spirit shine on you. As God's grace and love make this a brighter world. May the light of the Spirit shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. May the light of the Spirit shine on. One more time. May the light of the Spirit shine on me. May the light of the Spirit shine on you. As God's grace and love make this a brighter world. May the light of the Spirit shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. May the light of the Spirit shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. May the light of the Spirit shine on. May the light of the Spirit shine on. One more time. May the light of the Spirit shine on. Good singing. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. And good morning. Good morning. Welcome, everyone, to Unity of New Westminster on this day that I heard someone say, it's lovely to see the rain, but let's not make it 40 days and 40 nights. And let us be grateful that right now it's just a nice, gentle rain. I am Reverend Rhona Segarra, and it is my pleasure to welcome each of you here to our community of love and fun and support and caring and connection. We are so blessed to have this beautiful, beautiful community at Unity of New Westminster. And if you are joining us for the first time or joining us online, then a very warm welcome to you from all of us here at Unity in New Westminster. We're glad that you could join us online by the beauty of virtual connection, and we are very glad that you are here. So thank you for being here. Why are we here? We're here because the Unity movement and at Unity of New Westminster, we offer ideas for full and abundant living. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way-shower and example. And we honor that there is wisdom to be found in faith traditions all over the planet. There's wisdom to be found in song and in story and in parable and in life experiences. Wisdom to be found everywhere if we are simply open to see it. And we honor every person's right to choose their own life path, their own spiritual path, which is the same thing. All are welcome here. All are worthy here. All are celebrated here. And we begin our service today in a time of centering prayer. I invite you to rest as we give thanks that we are on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Kakite First Nation. And we give thanks and bless First Nation and Indigenous peoples everywhere for their connection and love for their land. We are grateful that we can join together in person and online to be reminded of our connection with each other, to be reminded that we are all part of the one. There are many names, many understandings for the creative energy in which we live, we move, we have our being. And we embrace the idea that it is one power, one energy, understood as God, as Yahweh, as Creator, as nature, as life, as science, as quantum, as Gaia. By whatever our understanding may be, we lean into the idea that it is one power and that we are part of that one power. We remind ourselves that there is no spot that God is not, including us, including our neighbors. And creative energy then is part of who we are. And we use that energy this morning to intend upliftment for all people. We send a blessing for love, for peace, for contentment, for healing to every being on this planet, uplifting every person's humanity, that every person know that they matter. And we know that our intention to bless, our intention for love, ripples out on those energy waves to make a difference. And for this intention, for this power that we have to bless, we give thanks and say amen. And I'm going to invite Glenn to come up and read the daily word for us today.
The theme for today's daily word is Father's blessing. I bless my Father with loving thoughts of gratitude. Today, I bless my Father and the father figures I have known with thoughts of love and appreciation. The man I call Father may, or may not be related to me, but he has touched my life with love. I give thanks for those fatherly figures who selflessly gave their time and love to help me grow into the person I am today. Their demonstrations of patience showed me how to give others space and time. Their humor and lightheartedness taught me to take not myself too seriously. Their guidance and trust encouraged me to be independent and trust myself. I would not be the person I am today without the lessons of love and wisdom shared by my father. In so many ways, he gave me a strong foundation on which to build my life. I am grateful and blessed with all that he has given me. This daily word is inspired by the Gospel of Matthew, chapters 15, verse 4, honor your father. And now, let's all enjoy Teach Your Children.
You who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the best is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you. And you of tender years can't know the fears that your elders grew by, so please help them with your youth. They seek the truth before they can die. Oh, teach your parents well, their children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the ones they picked, the ones you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and though they love you, and though they love you,
Thank you. As we prepare ourselves to hear today's message, I invite you to move into a time of quiet with me. I invite you to close your eyes if it's comfortable. And if it feels more comfortable to leave your eyes open, just allow them to rest gently on a point in front of you. And become aware of your breath. As it breathes in and breathes out. In and out. In that beautiful flow of life. that rhythm of intake and exhale. Take a moment to give thanks for your breath. Then move into your body and become aware of any part that is distracting you with tension. From your head to your face to your shoulders, your arms and your torso, down to your legs, your knees, your feet. Imagine breathing into your body and filling each cell with new life. Give thanks for your body. Notice that your mind may be distracted. Thank your mind for doing what it does to serve you. And give it permission to rest for a while. Then sink beneath those thoughts to a place of feeling. And notice what you may be feeling today. On this Father's Day, some of us may be feeling sad, regretful, others may be feeling anger, yet others may be feeling gratitude and appreciation. Perhaps you are feeling all of those emotions in various degrees. Notice and make space for each of those feelings. The reason you are here today is because you have a Father. Whether your relationship with your Father was a wonderful one, or a relationship that was stretched, give thanks for your Father. Without your Father, you would not be here. And you are a gift. So as we move into a time of quiet, a time of silence, embrace your emotions. And thank your Father. For you. Thank you, Dad. I am here because of you. Thank you, Dad.
The road is long, with many a winding turn that leads us to who knows where, who knows where. But I'm strong, strong enough to carry him. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. So on we go. His welfare is my concern. No burden is he to bear. We'll get there. For I know he would not encumber me. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. If I'm laden at all, if I'm laden with sadness, that everyone's heart isn't filled with the gladness of love for one another. It's a long, long road from which there is no return. While we're on the way to there, why not share? And the load doesn't weigh me down at all, 'cause he ain't heavy, he's my brother. He ain't heavy, He's my brother.
Wow. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you for asking for that.
One of my favorite songs. And I hadn't really thought of the he ain't heavy, he's my brother, as being true for he ain't heavy, he's my father. But it works for all relationships, doesn't it? So I begin by telling you a story. Once upon a time, there was an older brother. He was perfect. He did everything that was expected of him. He worked the fields. He came home and hung out with the family at night, went to bed responsibly, got up early every morning, went back to work on the fields. Repeat, repeat. Meanwhile, his bratty brother got to do anything he wanted. So much so that he was kind of always in trouble, and what my mom would say is he had ants in his pants. And finally, he thought, the younger brother thought, I gotta go. I can't stay in this. This place is too small for me. Too boring. I want to go and find my fortune, spend my life on wine, women, and song. So he went to Dad and said, Dad, I know I'm going to have some money coming to me sometime in the future. Can I have it now so I can go and have some fun and find my way? Find myself is what we would say in today's language. And Dad said, well, it's yours. Here you go. And so bratty brother took off. And we didn't hear from him for ages. We didn't know what happened to him. Dad waited patiently, hoping that he would come back. Every day, Dad would walk to the top of the hill, look down the road. No brother coming back. Until finally, one day, older brother is in the field, working, repeat, repeat. And he hears the sound of music, and he hears the sound of celebration, and he's like, what the heck is going on? Nothing was on the schedule. Because, you know, he would have had a schedule. So he asks one of the servants to go find out what's going on. The servant comes back and says, guess what? Bratty brother just returned, and your dad's throwing a big party, and he's killed the fatted calf, and he's given him a new robe and some clean sandals, and it's just such a wonderful celebration. And perfect brother says, just a second. What about me? I never had a party. I never got new clothes. I never got the fatted calf killed for me. He goes to Dad. Complains. And Dad says, you were always here. You always had access to the clean coat and the clean sandals and the fatted calf. My good was always here, but your brother was lost. He's come home. He's found. That is worthy of celebration. That is the story that has become known as the Prodigal Son. And I've told it to you from the perspective of the perfect son. Why? Because I think there are actually two stories in here. We think of the prodigal son as the problem son, the bratty kid. But there's another story, and that is the story of the perfect son and their father. Can you imagine being each one of these boys and coming home? Can you imagine being their father, loving them both? What can we learn from this story? The story of the prodigal son is found in the book of Luke, and I have given you the more like 21st century version of what is found in Luke. It is one of the longest parables. Let me just read it to you just so you have that context. It's from, as I mentioned, Luke chapter 15, beginning at verse 11. Jesus said, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the share of the property that will belong to me.' So he divided the property between them. A few days later, the younger son gathered all he had and traveled to a distant country. There he squandered his property in dissolute living. When he had spent everything, a severe famine took place throughout that country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed the pigs. He would gladly have filled himself with the pods that the pigs were eating, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, 'I'm dying of hunger. I will get up and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired hands.' And he set off and went to his father, but while he was still far off, the father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. Then the son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven, and before you I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his slaves, 'Quickly, bring out a robe, the best one, and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet, and get the fatted calf and kill it. And let us eat and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.' And they began to celebrate. Then perfect son comes in. Now his elder son was in the field, and when he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing. He called one of the slaves and asked what was going on. The slave replied, 'Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fatted calf, because he has got him back safe and sound.' Then he became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and began to plead with him. But he answered his father, 'Listen, for all these years I have been working like a slave for you, and I have never disobeyed your command. Yet you have never given me even a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. But when the son of yours came back, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fatted calf for him." Then the father said to him, "Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice, because this brother of yours was dead and has come to life. He was lost and has been found." Like all good stories, this story is able to be understood in many different levels. We can certainly just take it at face value and enjoy the entertainment value. It is kind of an interesting story. Or we can notice the actions and interactions of the characters and see if we'd agree with how they behaved. I could certainly put myself in the place of problem son, and I see nods from all of you. I can imagine the person who has squandered their life savings and has found themselves in a place that is destitute. And then I wonder, would I be brave enough to come back? So I can see myself in that character as well. And I can see myself as the parent. We can also go deeper and see how these aspects of ourselves are within. That there is a part of us that's kind of the rebel. There's a part of us that is kind of the perfect, does everything routinely, correctly. There's a part of us that is higher, that loves all of it, that loves every part of who we are. So let's look at these three characters. What we realize is that both brothers are a little lost. One just is more aware of their loss than the other. And he's the one who goes to find himself and comes home. So let's look at the prodigal son first, the problem. The restless one, that troublemaker. I really genuinely imagine him sitting in class, always getting in trouble. Always being, "Why aren't you? Why aren't you? Why aren't you?" And maybe that's true, maybe it's not. It's me making up the story at this point. The word prodigal comes from the Latin prodigus probably, which means lavish. And so we imagine this young man, taking his wealth, packing up all of his belongings, leaving home to find whatever it is that his restless soul is looking for. And wine, women, and song later, he has no money. His resources are exhausted. And it is at that time that a famine appears. There's a drought. He's dry, desperate. So he goes and he hires himself out to a citizen of the country. Now, metaphysically, what that means is that if he had an addiction in today's language, he may have started out enjoying the high, but the resources run out and he becomes a servant. He becomes a servant rather than a person who is in charge of the party. It's as if the addiction has him. And you can take that idea of resources and the drought that happens, and the fact that you get to a point where you've sold your soul, and you're at the lowest of the low, feeding the pigs, especially in a Jewish setting, a Jewish context, would be one of the absolute lowest things you could do, because pigs were considered not something to be eaten, unclean. He recognizes that life isn't working, hits rock bottom. Where can we see ourselves in that story? Where our restlessness causes us to look elsewhere, to give up all that we've known and move to an unknown that seems to be a great party at first and then kind of turns against you. Until we drain ourselves of our wealth, our energy. We run out of juice, if you will, and we have nothing left. When we deplete ourselves, this becomes a place where we have an opportunity that is a choice point. And this is where in the reading it is said that he came to himself. It is the choice point of waking up one day and looking around and going, this is not working. And some of us stay in that unfortunate place for years. Some never leave it. But it is a choice point. And it is at this choice that humility kicks in. He realizes that it's time to do something different. This is the recognition that whatever I'm doing is not working, whether it's something that's a job, whether it's something that's a habit, whether it's something that's a passion that I just want to keep doing it and eventually it's going to work, but you've reached the point where you've depleted yourself. Then this is the point where, as my friend Martha would say, if the horse is dead, get off of it. There is no point in beating a dead horse. But some of us continue on that for longer than we would like, certainly longer than we'd like to admit. But we wake up one day and we realize that everything that we loved about this experience is no longer there, that we are now servants to it. And we wake up. We come to ourselves. We make a choice. And the choice is, I was better where I am, where I started from. I will humble myself. I will withstand and take the risk that there will be, I told you so. That there will be ridicule, that there may be resentment. Regardless, I'm going to go home. I'm going to start again. In the Beatitudes, Jesus says, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." I think this is an example of that. The prodigal son coming home is an example of being meek, not being so proud that I'm never going to go back and say, hey, I made a mistake. I'm coming home looking disheveled, with clothes that are ratty, with no sandals, whatever it might be. I'm coming home. That takes courage. So know when you recognize that you are the prodigal in an area of your life, that it's no longer working for you, and you come to yourself, take the courage. Choose courage. Choose to be meek. Swallow your pride. You will inherit the earth. So that's problem. What about perfect? Well, I think of this person as the paragon. He's the example to everyone of what a perfect son could be, and I know the feeling because it is me. I'm the eldest of 5 children. I have always been the person who is the responsible one. The difference, I think, between me and the paragon son in the story is that I love it. But in this story, why is the perfect son so resentful? I think it's because he wasn't there because he wanted to be there. He was there because he felt it was his duty to be there. And whenever we do something from an energy of fear or obligation or guilt, fog, then we are not going to be in a place that we are free to enjoy the successes of others. Maybe he was afraid, the older brother, that if he left, he would lose his inheritance. Maybe he felt that as the older, more responsible child, he had an obligation to take care of his family. Stay with the farm, stay with Dad. Maybe because he felt a little resentful about his younger brother, there was an element of guilt within him. He was probably a tad jealous that his brother got all the attention, even if it was negative attention, when he was having trouble at school. And jealous that this brother had the freedom to just go and find himself. I wonder if the perfect brother was a little jealous of the freedom that the younger brother had. Whatever the reasons, what we know is that he doesn't take joy from his life and his choices. And that's the part that makes the problem, the perfect son, equally lost. If he had stayed home to work with his father completely freely, then he wouldn't need recognition. He'd be happy. He'd be happy to see his brother come home. The paragon represents the part of us that does things out of obligation, out of guilt. The things we do because we fear the judgments of others. What will people think? The parts of us that do things because we have to rather than because we want to. Perhaps the part of us that's a little competitive and says, look at me, I'm so perfect. Compare me to my brother, what a troublemaker he is. I should be rewarded with your love, with your consideration, with your admiration, because I am such a perfect child. I wonder if the perfect brother, the paragon, is actually less free than the prodigal son. He could benefit from asking, who am I? What am I? Where in your life do you play that paragon role? Where you are doing something out of guilt, out of fear, out of obligation. And are you willing, seeing as you're going to do it anyway, let's not forget that part, we're going to do it anyway. Are you willing to let go of the fear and obligation and guilt and just step into, I'm going to do it because I like it. I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to choose to like it. There is where freedom lies. The Father. The Father represents unconditional love. The love that loves us enough that it will set us free, whether we succeed or fail. The love that is there for us after we succeed or we fail. The love that accepts the positive and perfect and the negative and problem, and sees higher than that and embraces it all. In Sonnet 116, William Shakespeare writes, "Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. It is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken." These are fancy words. Love looks on tempests and is never shaken. It sees the problem and the paragon who's having a problem, and it loves it all. How do we do that? We accept. We allow each of the people in our lives, including ourselves, to make mistakes. We embrace the people in our lives who appear to be perfect and celebrate them too. We allow people to make their own choices. And then we are there for them, however they come back. However they come back. We let them know, as Barbara Coloroso, that wonderful childhood educator, used to say, there is no problem that is so big that it cannot be solved. We create a space that says, I am here no matter what. And this book from Robert Munch that my son David and I used to read together when we were little, and now I put it into every card that we write at Christmas and birthday. It's from the book Love You Forever. I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. Forever and always. My baby, you'll be. If we can take that, I'll like you, I'll love you forever and always, and infuse that into every part of our relationships with others and every part of the relationships that we have with those characters within us, those aspects within us that are perfect and sometimes are problems, then we can get to a place where we can always come home, where we can always access the generosity and abundance that was ours and is ours to enjoy. If you're in a good place, be grateful for what you have. If you're in a tough place, know that it is never too late to come home. Peace and joy are there for you when you're ready. Look at the blessings you already have. Come home. Love everything, every aspect of you. You are both the problem son and the perfect son. You are both. Let's say that again. You are both the problem son, the perfect son, and you are the Father. You have power to welcome it all. I bless you.
Shall I sing some more?
Please.
Okay. Well, I name it and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. Well, I name it and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. Oh yeah. Well, I name love, love, and I claim love, and then I see it everywhere. Well, I name love, love, and I claim love, and then I see it everywhere. 'Cause it's mine, 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 the endless and everlasting love of the divine. When I name it and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. When I name it and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. Because it's mine, 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 the endless and everlasting love divine. Well, I name it and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. Well, I name it and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. Well, Well, I name it and I claim it, and then I see it everywhere. Thank you.
The announcements. Please join us live or on Zoom tomorrow for Monday meditation from 10:30 to 11:15. We check in with each other and we enjoy a guided meditation, and we read the names of the people on our prayer list. To add a person to the prayer list, please fill in the prayer request slip found in your welcome packet with the person's first name and the first initial of their last name, and place it in the offering basket. You can also send us an email or submit a prayer request on our website or on the app. We leave the names on our list for 2 months unless requested for longer. At the end of each month, the whole list is sent to Silent Unity to be included in Unity's 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week prayer vigil and phone line at Unity Village near Kansas City, Missouri. Join us on Zoom on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. for Wisdom Wednesdays for discussion about the previous Sunday's message or about anything that's on your mind. We explore and share ideas in a safe and confidential space. The link is on our website, in the weekly email, and on the app. A replay of the talk can be found on our website and on our app. But if you don't have time to watch it, feel free to join anyway. The discussions are enriching and enlightening. We are grateful for your gifts, which support our ministry. Many of us contribute with pre-authorized payments, so if you are not placing anything into the contribution basket today, please bless it silently when it comes to you, and then pass the basket along. It says, look at the camera. For our online viewers, you'll find a donation link in the description of the recording, and please like and subscribe to our channel so we can reach more people. As we sing our blessing song, please bring to mind something you're grateful for. We are so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful that all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful that all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you. Oh, wow. We are indeed blessed. Linda, thank you for your amazing voice, your energy. It's so wonderful that you are here. Thank you.
I feel the same way. Thank you.
And thank you to our audiovisual team, to our usher, to Glenn, who is helping with the platform today. Thank you to all of you for being here. Next week, we have a very special day planned. Chief Robert Joseph is going to honor us with his presence as our guest speaker next week. It is part of our celebration as we plan to dedicate the Medicine Wheel Garden next week. But if you don't know of Chief Robert Joseph, he is someone who has been, he's the chair, for example, of the Native American Leadership Alliance for Peace and Reconciliation. I met him in October at a conference, and it was a conference my sister was attending, and I was just tagging along for the weekend. And she texted me, and because I was driving up a little later, she was already there, and she said, "Get here now." And the reason was that Chief Joseph was about to speak, and she had seen the title of his book, which was Namwayut, We Are All One. And she's like, "You have to get here now." So I listened to him speak, and I was really grateful for her message, because he is a wonderful, inspirational speaker who has just this gentle, inclusive way of telling a story and embracing all of the people in the room who are listening. He is the hereditary chief of the Gwewa-Anuch people. Let me say that again because I messed that up. The Gwewa-Anuch people. He is someone who has been nationally and internationally recognized as a leader of reconciliation. He has received the Order of Canada and the Order of British Columbia. And he's coming to speak with us. And so, I want this place to be filled with people who are interested in hearing a voice for reconciliation, a voice of reconciliation, someone with experience and knowledge and so much power with his message. So I'm going to ask you all to tell people. We'll make sure that there's information on the website by tomorrow. This literally was an okay on Thursday, so we're scrambling to get some marketing material together. But if you have a place where you can put a poster, we'll print some of these up while we're having coffee. And I'm going to ask you to take what you can, place it in the coffee shop closest to you, wherever you might be able to share this message, and ask your family and friends to come along. It will be a beautiful, beautiful day, and I am beyond excited at the idea of having somebody who is so recognized honor us with his presence. He's a wonderful man. Whew, what a day. Hi, Dad. Shall we get into a circle? Do you want to join, or you sing, or are you going to sing with the mic? Whatever you want. Don't.
And let it begin with with God as Creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence